January money goals didn't go quite as you planned. It's a new month, a new opportunity to reset and make positive steps forward. Don't give up. Let's get into your February money and budget guide. Hey friends, I'm Sarah Wilson, also known as Budget Girl here on the internet, and today we're going to go over some things that you can do this month to make positive strides with your money. If you haven't been budgeting and you want to start, or you want to change things within your own money habits because your bank account isn't looking like you want it to, I encourage you to listen along, subscribe to the channel, and also check out my website, budgetgirl.com. Specifically at budgetgirl.com/free, there are some free printable and online spreadsheet budgets. Let's give yourself the best chance possible to move forward. So if you're not already keeping a budget, let's not do the whole thing where we're trying to repeat the way we used to do, which is budgeting in our heads. Actually get stuff down on paper, and I guarantee you, you're gonna see the marker move. So first up to bat in this money guide is we're going to talk about things that you need to remember to budget for this month. First up is, of course, Valentine's Day. Now, while love has no monetary way to show itself, first, let me encourage you that spending more money on someone is not going to show them that you love them more. And there are tons of ways to honor those that we love without spending a ton of money or putting ourselves into a bad financial position. Some of the things that you might want to budget for, if you can afford it, is Valentine's Day treats, cards, dinners. Obviously, if you're going out for a Valentine's Day dinner, you might spend a little more than you would on a regular meal going out. So make sure to account for that. And of course, any gifts that you might have. I actually have a whole article on budgetgirl.com on inexpensive activities and things to do for Valentine's Day if you're in a money crunch but still want to spend some quality time and show a person that you love and appreciate them. The next thing that you need to remember to budget for is taxes. I know we're still early in the year, but that April filing date is going to come sooner rather than later. And if you can go ahead and get it out of the way, start organizing all of your paperwork and everything, you'll be happy later in the year, I promise. So make sure to budget for any professional fees or software you might be using to do your taxes. And if you're doing them early and you owe money, that gives you some time to start putting that money together for any taxes you might owe. And if you are getting money back, you can start to budget for where that money is going to go to help you move the marker on any goals you might have. Third is Super Bowl activities. If you are a sports fan, I am not, but I know people who are. Hosting parties can get absolutely expensive. Remember the food, remember any fees you might have to pay to get the game onto your screens, inviting people over, all of that stuff. Of course, alcohol is only increasing in money, so make sure to budget for any parties you might be having or any travel you might be doing to go to those parties. And finally, fitness gear and equipment is actually going to be at its lowest price right now because people are coming off of January fitness goals. So if you've been able to kind of maintain and meet any fitness goals that you had in the beginning of the year in January, it might be a good time to reinvest in yourself into some equipment to help you keep going and help reinforce those habits that you've established. Next, let's talk about some simple money and life challenges that will help you overall, both in your personal life and with your money. These are easy to do, and if you can incorporate them into your month, you'll be better for it. The first is to reevaluate goals and resolutions. So a lot of us made some big promises to ourselves and others at the beginning of January. In February, I think the statistics are close to 80% of those have completely become forgotten. But here's the thing, it's not a failure to readjust. So if your January was anything like mine, it was really busy and life happens. We've had terrible weather here. I haven't felt like going out and exercising or doing some of the things that I was hoping to do. So now is an excellent time to reevaluate and adjust those goals. Adjusting your goals and resolutions isn't failure, it's helping you succeed over the long term. So if you set yourself a really high bar and are finding yourself falling short of it, I encourage you to maybe set a lower goal that's easier to achieve. Oftentimes the habits that we're trying to set up, if we set a kind of bare minimum bar, it's going to be easier to do that consistently rather than a high bar that we only meet maybe 1% of the time. Also, failure is a part of having goals eventually succeed, especially with habits. I believe it's 2 failures to establish the habit that helps reinforce a permanent habit. It's part of the cycle. Number 2 is to lower your electricity and heating costs. If your electricity bills are a little higher than is comfortable, we can do a couple of things to limit those for now and for the entire year. And setting those standards now will help later. The first thing that you can do is to limit the lights that are on in your house. Doing things like turning off any lights that aren't in use and also unplugging any appliances or things that might just kind of constantly be plugged in will help you lower your overall electric bill and use costs. It's very easy to say like these things don't make a difference, but over the month, they absolutely will. It also might be a good time to replace any conventional light bulbs with LED bulbs. A lot of those are on sale this month as well. Next is to turn down the thermostat. The United States Department of Energy estimates that you can save 1% on your electricity bill by turning down your thermostat just 1 degree, assuming you do it for at least 8 hours. Now, say if you turn down your thermostat by 5 degrees, you could see how much that would save. You can also always layer up, get nice and cozy. That's my favorite thing about the winter is I can layer up. There are like multiple blankets back here that Stella's currently enjoying, and wearing layers and cuddling under blankets and stuff like that is just kind of a fun time, and you won't necessarily notice that your house is a little cooler. The next challenge that will absolutely make some decent size changes in your money is to move your savings from a regular old bank account that doesn't really pay any interest to a high yield savings account. I'm gonna have some links below. Some are affiliate, but by moving your savings into a high yield savings account, you can get hundreds of dollars in your account in passive income just by moving where that money lives. So the majority of my savings, which especially prior to purchasing my most recent duplex, it was sitting in there. I was earning about $300 a month off of the 5% interest that the bank was giving me. A regular bank account isn't going to get you anywhere near that. Some might even charge fees. The bank accounts that I have linked below will give you around 4 to 5% in monthly return. They don't have any crazy fees. They don't require a direct deposit or anything like that. Just simply moving where your money sits can earn you money, which why wouldn't you want to do that? I've used a high yield savings account for the entirety of past 7 or 8 years, and it's fantastic. It also creates a little bit of distance between my spending and my savings, so I'm less tempted to dip into that pot for things that aren't really necessary. It's good on multiple levels, and I think you should check it out. Next, let's talk about what's on sale this month. Please don't allow this to encourage you to buy anything that you don't need, but everything in the consumerist world operates on sale cycles, and if you purchase things that you need during those sale cycle lows versus the highs, it can save you a lot of money over time. So in February, you're gonna see a lot of sales on TV, on jewelry, because of course, Valentine's Day, winter clothing, gardening items that are being cleared out, and a ton on athletic equipment, and a ton of savings on any fitness equipment or athletic gear that you might need. You can also expect to see President's Day sales on mattresses, appliances, furniture, electronics, and computers. So if you need one of those things and can wait until the President's Day sale, it can absolutely save you a few hundred or even thousands of dollars. Next, there are some things that are going to be at the highest price point in their sales cycle this month. So if you can, absolutely wait to purchase those. Mainly, that's going to be Android phones, luggage, and cruise costs. So don't buy any of those this month unless you can absolutely not help it. Next, let's talk how to save money on food. If you shop in season fruits and vegetables, you can save a ton of money because those crops are plentiful at this time of the year and they cost less to ship in to your location wherever you are. This month, fruits on sale and in season are going to include apples, avocados, bananas, citrus, grapefruit, greens, kiwi, lemon, mango, oranges, pears, pomegranates, strawberries, and tangelos. Vegetables that you might want to incorporate into your meal plan include beets, bok choy, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, carrots, celery, cauliflower, kale, leeks, mushrooms, parsnips, potatoes, rutabagas, sweet onions, turnips, and winter squashes. I also have a really yummy recipe recommendation for you guys over on budgetgirl.com. If you've ever heard of Millionaire Bacon, it's a slow-baked bacon covered in like candied honey, and it's absolutely incredible and delicious. It's both sweet and savory, and Jacob makes it as a huge crowd pleaser for our guests. We've also had it at a few restaurants here and there. I think his is even better actually. And I have the recipe at budgetgirl.com. You should absolutely check it out if you really want to level up any like guest food or maybe even just a breakfast for dinner meal. I also have some other great resources for you guys over at budgetgirl.com, including an article on how to treat yourself on a budget if the budget just doesn't have a lot of room for fun or extras. I've got some great tips there, and an article on 20 false frugalities, things that'll actually end up costing you more money that are regularly kind of touted as things that will save you money. I think you should check it out. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.